Hello and a very warm welcome back to Pension and Benefits UK. If you're joining me for the first time, I'm really glad you're here. And if you're one of our regular viewers, thank you for trusting this channel to help you stay informed and reassured about the things that truly matter to you, your money, your pension, and your peace of mind. Now, I want you to imagine this for a moment. It's the morning of January the 1 stone, 2026. You wake up, maybe put the kettle on, glance at your phone or your bank statement, expecting everything to be just as it always is. Your pension paid in, your bills lined up, your routine unchanged. But then you start hearing the headlines. New bank rules, new DWP powers, government changes coming into force. And suddenly, instead of enjoying a quiet New Year's Day, you're left feeling anxious, wondering, is my pension safe? Is my money safe? Do I need to do something right now? This is important, so please listen carefully, because there is a lot of noise out there at the moment, and much of it is confusing, alarming, and frankly unfair on pensioners. Today, I'm going to calmly and clearly explain what is really changing, what is not changing, who is affected, and what you should actually do next, without panic, without fear, and without unnecessary stress. Now, let me explain why this update matters right now. Over the past few weeks, there has been a surge in online stories claiming that from the start of 2026, the government and the DWP will be able to look into pensioners' bank accounts, monitor spending, or even take money directly. Many people have written to me worried about whether their state pension could be stopped, reduced, or interfered with. I've even heard from viewers who are afraid to use their savings for heating or food because they think it might trigger some kind of investigation. That worry alone shows why we need to talk about this properly. Here's what this really means in everyday language. The government has passed a new law called the Public Authorities Fraud, Error, and Recovery Act 2025. It is now law, and parts of it will start to be used during 2026. The aim of this law is not to punish pensioners or spy on ordinary people. Its stated aim is to reduce fraud and mistakes in the benefits system, because billions of pounds are lost each year through overpayments, errors, and deliberate fraud. Now, that might sound abstract, so let's bring it back to real life. Think about pension credit, for example. Pension credit is a lifeline for many older people. It helps with food costs, heating, council tax reductions, free TV licenses for over 75s, and access to other support. But pension credit is means tested. That means your savings and income matter. In the past, the DWP often relied on people sending in paperwork or reporting changes themselves. Under the new rules, the DWP can, in certain situations, ask banks for limited information to help confirm whether someone still meets the rules. And this is where the biggest misunderstanding comes in. The DWP is not being given free access to everyone's bank account. They are not looking at what you spend in the supermarket, how much you pay for gas and electricity, or whether you bought your grandchild a birthday present. They cannot see your shopping habits, your prescriptions, or your day-to-day life. The information they can request is strictly limited and tightly controlled by law. For example, they may be able to confirm whether an account exists, whether it is linked to a benefit claim, and whether savings are broadly above or below a certain threshold that matters for that benefit. That's it. No transaction history, no itemized spending, no personal lifestyle details. Now, here is a key point I really want to reassure you about. If you are a pensioner who receives only the basic state pension and no means-tested benefits, these bank verification powers do not apply to your state pension. Your pension is not means-tested. It does not depend on your savings. It is based on your national insurance record. So if you're sitting there thinking, I only get my state pension and nothing else, then please take a breath. Your payments will continue as normal. There is no new rule that suddenly applies to you just because you are retired. Where this mainly applies is to people claiming additional help, such as pension credit, universal credit, or certain income-related benefits. And even then, it is not automatic, and it is not constant monitoring. It is used in specific situations where eligibility needs to be checked. Now, I also want to address another fear I keep hearing. The idea that from January 1 Street, 2026, the DWP can just dip into your bank account and take money. This has caused a lot of distress, especially among older viewers. So let me be very clear. There is no rule that allows the DWP to routinely remove money from pensioners' bank accounts without notice. What the law does allow, in very specific circumstances, is stronger debt recovery powers where someone owes money due to proven fraud or serious overpayment and has refused to repay it over a long period. This is not about honest mistakes. This is not about people who reported changes and cooperated. This is about cases where someone has knowingly claimed money they were not entitled to and then refused to engage with repayment. Even then, safeguards, notices, and procedures apply. It is not something that happens overnight, and it is not aimed at ordinary pensioners going about their lives. Another important thing to understand is timing. Despite what some headlines say, most of these new bank verification powers are expected to be rolled out from April 2026, not suddenly on January 1. St. January is more about payment date adjustments around bank holidays, something we see every year. The government has also talked about testing these systems carefully before wider use. That means no sudden shock to the system and no overnight changes for millions of people. Let's bring this back to everyday reality. If you're a pensioner worried about paying your heating bill, managing food costs, or keeping up with council tax, the most important thing you can do is make sure you're getting everything you're entitled to. Pension credit alone can be worth thousands of pounds a year once you include passported benefits like free TV licenses, cold weather payments, and help with NHS costs. These new rules are not there to stop you claiming help you are entitled to. In fact, they are designed to make eligibility checks more accurate, not harsher. Now, let me give you some calm, practical advice. First, keep your details up to date with the DWP if you claim any means-tested benefit. If your savings change, if you receive a lump sum, or if your circumstances change, let them know. That protects you. Second, don't be afraid to use your money for normal living costs. Paying for heating, food, transport, or medical needs is not wrongdoing. Third, if you ever receive a letter from the DWP asking for clarification or information, don't panic. Read it carefully, respond honestly, and seek advice if you're unsure. There are always rights to challenge decisions and ask questions. Here's what this really means in simple terms. The state pension continues as normal. There is no new rule that targets pensioners just for being pensioners. There is no mass surveillance of bank accounts. There is no routine removal of money. What there is a modernization of how eligibility is checked for certain benefits, aimed at fairness and accuracy. So let me summarize this clearly for you. From 2026, the DWP will have updated powers under a new law to reduce fraud and errors. Some of these powers allow limited bank data checks for certain means-tested benefits, mainly from April 2026. These checks are limited, controlled, and do not give access to your spending habits. They do not apply to the basic state pension on its own. Stronger debt recovery powers exist but apply only in specific cases of non-repayment after due process. For the vast majority of pensioners, daily life continues exactly as it does now. I know these stories can be unsettling, especially when you rely on your pension every month to keep the lights on, the heating running, and food on the table. That's exactly why this channel exists. To cut through the noise, explain the facts, and help you feel informed rather than frightened. If you found this explanation helpful, please give the video a like. It really helps this channel reach other pensioners who might be worried right now. Make sure you're subscribed to Pension and Benefits UK, and turn on notifications, because I'll continue to bring you clear, calm updates on pensions, DWP changes, cost of living support, and everything that affects you directly. Thank you for watching, take care of yourself, and I'll see you again very soon.